I'm very excited about this video. It's something that was requested in the comments that I've kind of thought about doing in the past but never really got around to, so I'm really excited to do this. And I'm going to give you a little tour of my bookshelf. Yeah. Now I should clarify, let me see. Yeah, this is most of my language books. There's a couple of other ones in my office. I have a little shelf with mostly just big dictionaries and the grammar, big grammar books and stuff like that. And then there's a couple down there on a shelf over there that has a few grammar drills books, the kind of exercises stuff, mainly because they're too tall for my shelf over here. So we're just gonna go, we'll get started. We'll start on the top shelf, shall we? Let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna take them down chunk by chunk. So on the top is where I keep my kind of books about language, kind of linguisticsy books, you know, linguisticsy, I like that word, yay. Now I wrote a blog post about this a little while back, so I'll link to that in the description, and most of these books are on there. This, Lingo, oh my goodness, one of my absolute favourites. It's amazing, it's really, really good, especially if you find that you're a bit of a language dabbler, shall we say, and you find yourself just being attracted to one language for about a week and then wanting to go over here and explore this one, and it's, you know, all a bit over here. The chapters are really short and it takes you through Europe essentially with, I don't know how many languages, quite a few, and covering like the whole continent really, really nicely. So it's not just like English, French, German, Spanish, Italian. You know, it goes beyond that. So you've got things in here like Galician, Breton, Breton, maybe? I don't know how you pronounce it. You've got Karaim, which actually is really cool. I went there in Lithuania. There's a castle called Trakai Castle, and there's some people there who are, who speak this almost extinct language. And when I went there, I was really trying to find them and I couldn't. So as soon as I saw this book, and I opened the first page and saw that, I was like, oh, yes, I'm so excited to read this book. And the chapters are lovely and short, like I said, highly recommended. Love this book. It's going back on the shelf. You know, it's funny because most of the time when I read a book, I then tend to get rid of it. I don't like having things lying around a lot. So if a book is here and I've read it and it's stood the test of time, the test of being read and not being sent to the charity shop or given to someone, then it's definitely a good one. This one I've never read, Port Out, Starboard Home and Other Language Myths, but I like the sort of format. It's one of those where you've got like a page and a little bit about a certain phrase or word, for example, bankrupt, barbecue, avocado. Oh, how millennial of me. The next book, you can see I've begun, but not finished yet. This is David Crystal. Can we talk about how amazing David Crystal is? Oh, yes we can. He's amazing. Look him up. Read one of his books. He has like 1 million. It's like ridiculous. So good. This is a good one. I think this could be a good one to start with, I think. So far so good. I like what I've read so far. I just don't know what to say about them. They're all amazing. Just like this one, How Language Works. Oh, this is like a crystal collection. You say potato, I say potato. A book about accents. With him and I believe his son as well, so it's like a co-author book. So there's a couple of scamps that have snuck in, like mostly travel books like this one, The Full Montezuma, which I picked up in a charity shop not long ago, mainly because it's about Central America. We're going to Central America, so I wanted to read that. Hopefully I'll be able to finish it before we go. This is a book that stood the test of time. Opening Worlds, short stories from different cultures. For a long time, you know, I've really toyed with the idea of like a blog post or a video about things that made me interested in language. Like when I think back, you know, I didn't come from like a kind of multilingual background or some kind of multiracial or multicultural background, anything like that. You know, my parents were both British, I lived in England, and that was it. You know, there was nothing really that was obviously like, oh yeah, that person's gonna be bilingual or speak multiple languages or whatever, right? So when I think about it, I think about, you know, why do I do this? What was it that made me interested in this? There's a few things that come to mind, and I guess this is possibly one of those things. So this was a set text that we had for GCSE. Maybe if you studied between 2003 and 2008, you also remember this book. And it just has, oh, my name is in it and everything. It just has like 8, I think. Oh no, more than 8. Some really short stories from around the world by all different authors. So there's, for example, Dead Man's Path by Chinua Achebe, who I think is a really famous author. I just always remember whenever I see his name come up, I'm like, yeah, I've read him in Opening Worlds for GCSE, like 3 pages worth. And the thing is, this is why I've kept it all these years. These first 6 stories we read, the next 6 we didn't read. So it's kind of there as like, yeah, one day when I'm just feeling like I need to open the world, open my world, then I will pick this book up again and I'll finish the rest. I'll finish those other 6 stories. Yeah, I kind of forgot that was there. Next up is The Complete MERDE. And these books are always fun, aren't they? When it's about like dating and swearing and all of that stuff in a different language. So those things are always good. And then the next 3 are kind of similar style books. There's this one, which was a gift. I'm not hanging nooses on your ears, and I love it when people buy gifts for me that are like this, and it's like, oh yeah, you know me, you get me. So just lots of idioms from different languages. And then in a similar vein, possibly the very first language book that I ever bought, that I had, Opening Worlds. I didn't buy it, bought this one, The Meaning of Tingo. And I love this because it's so inspiring. You just open it up at any page and you feel like, oh, where did this page come from? I've never seen this page before. You know, it's one of those books really. And it's just words and phrases and fun stuff and false friends from around the world that you can think, oh wow, in Indonesian there is a word, tamangu-mangu, sad and not sure what to do. It comes from the idea that tingo is an Easter Island word meaning to borrow things from a friend's house one by one until there's nothing left. So there's this one, and then there's also like a follow-up, toujours tingo, which is equally as fun. Just a lovely book to have, I think, on any shelf. It's one of those like coffee table books, but I don't really have a coffee table, despite what it may seem like, because I'm showing you my little bookshelf. I'm actually not much of a hoarder. I really hate having lots of stuff. So like I said, when I finished a book, I'm like, okay, read that, adios, right? However, there are a few that remain. So this is all I have in terms of my kind of multilingual book, like actual literature collection. Alice in Wonderland in Italian, little small copy that was a gift that I just love. It's got nice pictures and everything, it's really nice. I have this one, which is ROALD, and I got this in Japanese, and I got this from, is it Book Off? And it was like 100 yen or whatever it is, that's £1. And yeah, I kind of treasure this just because ROALD is amazing, and Japanese books are quite, they just feel really nice to hold, because I don't know if you know, you read them this way. I can't read it, but I can look at it and dream that one day I will be able to read this book because it's so cute. Third one that's lasted all this time is Poet in New York by Federico Garcia Lorca, which makes me feel very intellectual having this on my shelf. But again, like Opening Worlds, it was just because, as you can see, annotations. So this was my A-level book that I chose. We got to choose, unlike at GCSE when we had Opening Worlds. And I remember our teacher told us about Lorca, and I was quite intrigued. I was really sort of inspired by the idea that of what Lorca was, and he was friends with DAHL and Buñuel, and it was just this like trio of like, oh my god, I want to be their friends. Why was I not alive in Spain at this time of history? Like, these guys, wow, like incredible. And so I was really inspired by that, and that's why I decided to read Poet in New York. It's good, it's fun. And okay, I just found a photo of me that I've been using as a bookmark. That's embarrassing. 2005, wow, let's keep that in there. So yeah, moving on. Next up on the top shelf is pretty boring, it's just dictionaries. I really like the Collins ones, they're really nice. I'm not a huge fan of the Oxford ones, but I've been given a couple of them over the years, so I keep the ones if I don't have another dictionary for. And and then this. So my sister, one Christmas, I think, bought me these Chinesey cards, which are just a joy, beautiful. And she bought them for me with, ta-da, the book, Chinesey, a new way to read Chinese. And this is lovely. If you ever get the chance to just like look through this in a bookshop, oh, I highly recommend it, and then buy it so you can own it and just be happy because it's so beautiful. Ah, it's so pretty. Then this, Spoken Here, I bought this in Montreal in a secondhand bookshop. Travels Among Threatened Languages, really good, really enjoyed reading this. Really diverse, like it's not just like, you know, in one part of the world or anything like that. It's like everything from Manx to Yiddish to Yuchi to Australia. It's really fun. Next up is my own little threatened language book, W and Grammar. Maybe you've heard me talk about this before. So basically this is from my old library, Northamptonshire County Council. Oh, okay, I got this book out on the 5th of November 2014. I've never taken it back because do you have those machines in the library, right? Where they're like a little plate and you put your book on and it just magically tells you, even if you put multiple books on, it's still like, bing, 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 I'm an amazing machine, I know what books you've got. And you're like, how'd you do that, machine? Craziness. Well, it didn't recognize this book and I was like, huh, machine, huh, to you. And I took it to the counter and she said, oh, she typed it in, it had a code, she typed in the code and everything, it didn't come up. So she wrote it down inside and said, there you are, and gave it to me. 3 weeks later, I wanted to renew it because I hadn't quite finished. My curiosity was intrigued and I wanted to keep it for a little bit longer. I couldn't renew it online, so I rang up and said, hi, I can't renew this book. Can I renew it over the phone? Oh, if you can't do it online, don't worry, it's not on our system, just bring it back when you're ready. I'm still not ready to bring it back because I'm going to the place where they speak this language, which I've since discovered is a small island or a collection of islands, I should say, in Papua New Guinea. And that was going to be the aim of the trip we're going to take this year. But actually things flipped around. We decided to go to Latin America instead, or the Americas, I should say. We've got a little bit of time in New York and Quebec, in Montreal and Quebec City. And so yeah, it's changed. But soon, in the next few years, I hope, we'll be able to actually go and discover this language. I'm so excited, I can't tell you. And that explains kind of the next section here. So there's a random Pimsleur Vietnamese, a couple of really old guidebooks that I got from an old bookshop in London, and then lots of books about Papua New Guinea and languages and sort of anthropology side of things in the process of reading those. Next up is book Making Wawa, which is from my friend Andrea in Canada, who also sent me this frog, which is adorable. And so yeah, this is really cool and I'm looking forward to going through this. It's about the genesis of Chinook jargon. So kind of, it's about, you know, sort of First Nations languages of Canada. It's really interesting. So thank you if you're watching this video. Yay! And then we're kind of going to skim through the next bit. Ow. Hugo, Russian in 3 months. Teach yourself Bengali. Teach yourself Welsh. Teach yourself Swedish. Teach yourself Italian grammar. Teach yourself Thai. Teach yourself Swahili. Read and write Japanese scripts. Very old, teach yourself Japanese. Colloquial Thai. Colloquial Swedish. Swedish in 3 months. Ooh, and this is a fun book. Look at this. I love this book. Spoken Chinese 900. What I like about this is it says on the back, the 900 series together with 170 minutes of cassette material. Cassette material? Thumbs up if you don't know what a cassette is. Hey young people. I got this book in Malaysia. I was staying in a town called Kuching in Sarawak on Borneo for about 10 days. And yeah, because I was there for so long, I kind of was very much into their book exchange. And so I noticed this was on there and I kind of snapped it up, finished the book I was reading as quickly as possible, went up, swapped the book, and I would just go and sit. There was this amazing cafe and like tea shop and tea and coffee shop that I would go and sit in and just read and study from this book. And I really loved those days, you know, like probably about just, you know, maybe 3 or 4 days of doing that. And there was a really nice Chinese restaurant. I'd go there and do the same thing. And just recently, actually, I found this old lottery ticket tucked inside. I think I shared this on Instagram at the time. But yeah, it's like, I just love it when things kind of come into your life, which is why I can't see myself getting rid of this one. Next up, Toki Pona. or Tokipona. Still not learnt it yet. But this was a gift that I asked for Christmas a little while ago. I got actually to like lesson 5 or something on Christmas Day a couple of years back, and wow, this is fun. If you are like, oh, I want to learn a new language, but oh, I should be focusing on this one. 120 words, that's all I'm gonna say. We've got a couple of these really old Hugo in 3 months books, Turkish and Scottish Gaelic. Then I've got a nice Trumpton Man. This really old Teach Yourself Russian book, which it's fun, isn't it, right? You can't go wrong really with this. Next up is my little Esperanto collection. I got both of these from a car boot sale for £1. I couldn't quite believe it, and I love this. Again, another one, it's like, well, this is with me for life because it's just so old and delicate. It says 2nd edition, 1954. This was printed in 1954, and I actually used this. I worked all the way through this book to learn just the basics of Esperanto. This dictionary as well, it's got bits of grammar in there as well, which kind of helped me out. But yeah, this and Duolingo, and I was set. Then a couple of, I've got a BBC Active German grammar book, which I really like, and a couple of Tuttle dictionaries and verb guides. And this, which is my friend's DVD. Hi Hannah. Naturvaktin. It's kind of like an Icelandic version of The Office set in a petrol station. So on the bottom is where I keep like the big, bulky, boxy stuff. Yeah. And then the little dainty, tiny stuff. Just because, why not? Opposites attract, right? We've got Instant Greek. I remember I got this, again, from a charity shop, $3.99, when I was planning on going to the Polyglot Conference in Thessaloniki in Greece, end of last year. And I was planning to learn some Greek, and I saw this and I thought, perfect, that's literally all I need. It's not a language I want to take too far, just need the basics to get me there, to be able to read stuff, etc. And then decided to get married on the day of the conference. So didn't go. Haven't used this yet, will do one day. Next, again, ex-library, as you can tell from the barcode, Urdu. Teach Yourself Urdu. Yeah, I love these. I love these kits. It feels really like, yeah, this is something that can be achieved. I don't know. I can't help it. I can't help that feeling. Classic. Teach Yourself Polish. My mum gave me this for Christmas one year, maybe about 2005, 2006. And I was really excited. I was like, oh wow, this is cool. Never thought about learning any other language than French or Spanish. Teach yourself Polish, fair enough. And this was around the time when kind of the EU had opened up slightly, and there were lots of Polish immigrants coming to the UK as well. So I thought, brilliant, I'll be able to speak to people. Never got beyond chapter 3. Polish is hard. One day, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna make it work. Asimil, Chinese with ease. This is good. I like Asimil a lot, and yeah, I've enjoyed. I've worked through this at least once, maybe twice now. But yeah, it's a really good thing. If especially I think if you're quite new to language learning, and sometimes books like I think Colloquial and Teach Yourself can be beyond chapter 3, right? Like with Polish, they then suddenly go, boom, now we're gonna hit you with the grammar, yeah. Asimil doesn't really do that in the same way, so if you're quite new to language learning, it's a really, really good option. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to this one day and just going through, because my Chinese is rusty. Next up is this huge living language set in Korean that my friend Katie from Joy of Languages sent to me. Hi Katie, and thank you for this. It's very heavy. It's so good. It even comes in a notebook. I love it. And then, Complete Indonesian. The one box set I have worked through and succeeded with. So yeah, this is fun. But you can watch the Indonesian videos to learn about that. Next up is my little dictionaries and phrase books section. I've got a little tiny Welsh dictionary that actually isn't mine. This isn't mine, this is Ashley's, because he went to university in Wales and got this. And it's very new looking, I should say. Yeah. Dutch phrase book. This is an old one. I've had this for a long time. Lonely Planet phrase books. I have one, we'll get this out of the way. I have a Berlitz one in Norwegian that was a gift that I'm now makes me really want to go to Norway. Then we've got Brazilian Portuguese, Baltic phrasebook. I have these old ones here. This one, Scandinavian phrasebook, which I don't think is made anymore, but covers Danish, Swedish, Norwegian, Finnish, Icelandic, and Faroese. Nailed it. Thanks for watching, and if you have any requests for videos that you'd like to see, let me know, because like I said, this was inspired by comments. But tell me, what language books are on your shelf? What are your favourites that you will never let go and that will be with you forever? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, remember to subscribe for regular language learning updates. I will see you very soon. Thank you. Bye.